My name is Joel.
And I'm Andrene.
And this is Rewind Rewatch, a 90s movie podcast. Welcome back, good people. We are back with another movie that we will be reviewing for you, our lovely listeners. Me and my sister will be discussing another movie that we've rewatched from the 90s to talk about how well it has aged. At the end of this and every episode, we will give it a rewind rating from 1 to 5 rewinds based on how rewatchable the movie is. And for today's episode, we will be discussing Set It Off from 1996?
Yep.
1996.
This is rated R with a 2 hour and 3 minute runtime. This was requested by two lovely listeners this week. We have Tania from Florida.
Shout out to Tania.
And Thwip Stickers from Georgia.
Shout out to Thwip Stickers. All right, so Set It Off is starring a number of people, some of who we've already seen before. So there's 4 main characters: Jada Pinkett, before she was Smith, Vivica Fox, who we saw in Kill Bill, Queen Latifah, and also Kimberly Elise. Mm-hmm. And then you also have John C. McGinley from Scrubs playing the main detective who's trying to catch them.
Don't forget Blair Underwood.
Oh, yes, Blair Underwood.
He plays Keith.
Oh, yes, he does. Bank. Yes, he does. The corporate bank manager. All right, so this movie was directed by F. Gary Gray. F. Gary Gray also directed Friday, Italian Job, Law Abiding Citizen, Straight Outta Compton. So some pretty good.
A lot of big hitters.
Movies. Yeah.
He also did a bunch of music videos. Did you know that?
I did see something about that. Like, he directed like the "Today Is a Good Day" video.
Yeah, it was a good day. He did "Waterfalls" by TLC, Whitney Houston, "I Believe in You and Me," Outkast, Miss Jackson, and Jay-Z, "Show Me What You Got."
Okay,
so he got
good videos.
Yeah, good videos, good movies. He's out here.
Nah, he does a really good job with this, and this is another movie that features a director making a cameo in his own film. We talked about this on the Patreon when we covered Baby Boy with what's my guy's name? This is really embarrassing that I'm forgetting this because I could picture
John Singleton.
John Singleton, right? So John Singleton had a cameo in Baby Boy, but yes, F. Gary Gray makes a small cameo in this movie where he is one of the neighborhood guys that pulls up on Cleo in his lowrider, and he's making fun of her because she hasn't remodeled her car for years. So before we get into the ins and outs of Set It Off, I will allow you to give the listeners a 1-sentence summary.
Ooh. 4 women rob a bunch of banks in an effort to come up with some quick money based on unfortunate circumstances they find themselves in.
Yeah, that is pretty much what this movie is, and I'm glad you mentioned unfortunate circumstances because I feel like that is kind of the driver in this movie. I mean, we know you can assume as much by reading the synopsis or watching the trailer. Okay, this movie is going to be about these 4 black women who rob banks. But the movie has to set it up by... Before we set it off, we have to set it up.
Right.
And the setup is like, why are they doing this?
We got to talk about this opening scene.
The opening scene.
There's so much.
The movie very literally starts out with a bang.
Yes.
Because Vivica A. Fox plays a character named Francesca, who goes by Frankie, and she's a bank teller at a bank that gets robbed by a guy that she knows from her neighborhood. And in the midst of this robbery, which she had nothing to do with and doesn't even want to take the cash out to hand it to him, like wants nothing to do with this robbery, he shoots an innocent woman directly in front of her. The blood splatters all over her clothes. Mm-hmm. They get into a shootout with the cops. There's 3 guys robbing this bank. Only one of them gets away. And she is very clearly traumatized because she just saw all these people get killed at her job. She's trying to help the cops who come to question her after the fact. And once they find out that she knows this guy because they grew up in the same neighborhood, they basically accuse her of collusion and fire her from her job. Mm-hmm. Granted, they have nothing to base this on. They cannot press charges because there's no evidence that she was involved. But the cop says something to her along the lines of, what happens next time one of your friends decides to come rob a bank? So...
yeah. It might have been her boss, but yeah.
Yes, her boss says that. Yes, that's right. So essentially, she's getting fired because she lives in the hood.
Here's the thing about this scene, though. So I'm watching this. And first of all, so Darnell is one of the guys, the guy that she knows who's robbing the bank.
Played by rapper Dub C.
Yes, he's waiting in line, and Darnell looks suspect as hell. He's looking around, looking mad nervous.
Eyes are mad darty.
Yeah, it's like Darnell's up to no good. It's very obvious. He gets to the front of the line, and he pulls out a gun, points it at her, and says, "Give me the money." And she's like, "Come on, Darnell, stop playing." And I'm like, "Stop playing."
Yeah, I don't think he's playing.
He's pointing a gun at you. Then he cocks the gun. And she's like, "Come on, Darnell, you don't want to do this." I'm not talking to you. I'm pulling the money out, and I'm putting it in the bag. I just couldn't understand. I was like, girl. And my thing is this. Yes, you're saying she got fired because she knows this guy. But if I'm watching footage, right, and I see her and she's talking to the guy and they're going back and forth, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what's going on. To me, it just seemed odd. It was like, why am I having a conversation with the guy who's pulling a gun? Like, just follow the procedure, pull out the money clip from the right-hand side, whatever you got to do, and, like, do what you got to do. But she's sitting there. She's talking to him. She's trying to tell him not to do it. And I'm just like, girl, he's pointing a gun at you. Like, I'm just going to put the money in the bag, and I'm going to give it to him, and that's it. Because if you think about it, that woman only got shot because she didn't give him the money. She was sitting there hemming and hawing and trying to have, like, some kind of conversation with him, trying to negotiate. And I'm like, does she think that she's a hostage negotiator? It was too much.
I think by the time a gun gets pulled out in a bank, it's probably too late to pull it back. Like there's no rolling it back at this point. I pulled a gun out in a bank.
And like I understand,
it's not like, oh damn, you're right, I'm gonna put the gun back in my pocket. Like, and it's too late now.
I completely understand that. Like, there's a whole like fight, flight, and like freeze is another reaction people get. They freeze. I understand that. But I also felt like she didn't freeze. She was actively trying to tell him not to do this. So to me, I was just like, girl, what are you doing?
She's trying to rationalize with Dub C.
But you can't. He has 2 other partners who have their guns out.
Exactly.
So she's doing all this talking. So for me, I feel like I kind of understood why the boss was like, bro, like, what actually is happening here?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. It did feel like she was the one black person working in this bank with a bunch of white people. She gets questioned in a room full of white men. Like, it was very like, you're getting racially profiled and also you live in the hood. So, yes, she was having a discussion with this guy before the money happens. But I feel like if she was colluding with him, she would have just given him all the money. She wouldn't have been trying to convince him or have a discussion about anything because she would have been in on the plan. Like, oh, here's the gun. Oh my God, I'm being held up. Here's the money. Like, she didn't do that. And she's like hiding the entire time. She's like crying. So I don't know. It just felt like I got the sense that this scene specifically, kind of reminded me of like Waiting to Exhale in the sense that it felt like movies at this time, specifically black movies, were very intent on like emphasizing society's lack of empathy for black people, particularly black women. And so when I think about like, this scene in Waiting to Exhale when the husband is like waiting till she's getting ready for this.
Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy.
For this banquet. And he's like, oh, by the way, I'm taking my mistress and also I'm leaving you. Like, it's like, oh, like people just don't give a damn about black women and they're just ready to dispose them. And that's very much what I felt like this movie was also doing. And we see other examples of this, like with Kimberly Elise's situation, which again, that one I was more so like, yeah, girl, like this was kind of your fault that you like allowed your baby to
get
like
poisoned, yeah.
Chug cleaning products. Like I was more on that side with this one, but like I don't know. I feel like this is a employee that has been working here for years. You've trusted them, you've promoted them, and then like y'all get robbed, and because she happens to know this person, it's just like there was no discussion. It was just like, yeah, you're fired. She still has blood on her clothes. They don't even wait till the next day. They just sack her and tell her to go home. Like it was like
I think
I feel like it was definitely over it was definitely like emphasizing like look how much society doesn't care about black women. Like I feel like that's what the movie was trying to do.
No, I understand that. I just felt like I don't know, girl. Your reaction was a little bit suspect to me, but I don't know about a firing. Maybe like we gotta have some kind of conversation.
Sure.
Maybe put you on leave.
But
something.
I think the other part of this is she is like getting side-eyed by the cops. And later, when they decide to start robbing banks, this is largely her idea, which I thought was odd for a number of reasons. Number one, you've already talked to the cops and they've already got you earmarked as a suspect. So if you start robbing banks now, you're going to validate everything that they've said about you. Number two, I feel like she should have been a little bit more traumatized because like, yo, these guys came to rob your bank. 3 of them walked in and only 1 of them walked out. And you decided, I want to do that next?
Yeah.
Like, your boy Darnell didn't make it out. Oh man, Darnell made $20,000. He didn't make $20,000.
Lorenz did.
He's dead. And then you're like, you know what we should do? What Darnell tried to do.
Because she says she's smarter, and also I know banks. She knows how they operate.
I heard her say it.
That's what she was saying. But you're right. I feel like out of all 4 of the women, like the logic for her getting into it didn't make a lot of sense to me because she also like didn't really quote unquote need the money. Like I feel like
she was just mad at the world and was like, I'm going to take it out.
Get another job.
Banks. I'm going to get banks back.
Yeah, I didn't really get her motivation that much. So that's the
Cleo didn't really have a motivation either. She just didn't give a damn.
Cleo is a wild card.
Yeah.
Every group has that person who just wants to shoot some guns.
Yeah.
And that was her. Like, she wants to just go in guns blazing.
It's like, man, I'm tired of people making fun of my car. I need to rob a bank.
She also lived in the garage, so she has no real home.
Well, that's true.
So I'm sure she needed the funds. I just don't think that Frankie...
She also wanted to buy her girlfriend lingerie.
Yes, that's correct.
Speaking of the girlfriend.
Ursula?
Sure.
That's her name.
All right, whatever. Ursula. And I don't think I would have noticed this if she didn't say, like, when we first meet Ursula, the girls are, like, kind of upset because they're like, yo, she never says anything to us. She just comes and hangs out with Cleo, but she never says nothing. Like, she act like she don't see us standing here. And as I'm watching the movie, I realize Ursula doesn't talk.
At all.
I don't think she had a single line.
No. She would smile.
So I'm like, does Ursula talk? Like, is Ursula a mute?
Maybe.
And the only evidence that we have that she does talk is that when Cleo gets arrested to go be a part of a lineup after Luther gets killed, she tells Ursula, yo, call them to make sure that they can get me out.
Yeah.
So presumably she said she did something on the phone to alert them to the fact that, but other than that, we have no evidence that she can speak.
I don't know why.
So that was interesting. And I don't think I've ever noticed that before.
Yeah, I don't know why that was. All right, so we talked about what Frankie's motivation was, I guess.
And
kind
Cleo's.
of. And Cleo's just a wild card who likes to shoot things. So moving on to TT, they call her. who is played by Kimberly Elise, she is a single mom of a young toddler. And all of the girls, now that Frankie has lost her job, they all work for this place, Luther's Janitorial, where they clean these buildings. And apparently TT was not able to get a babysitter one night, so she brings her little toddler to the building. And he's completely unattended in another room because they don't want him to knock over, I guess, whatever they're working on. And next thing you know, they hear him screaming and crying, and they run in there, and he has gotten into cleaning products. He poisoned himself. So, of course, when he goes to the hospital, CPS is now alerted because a child has ingested poison at the workplace. And CPS is like, yeah, we're going to have to take this child into our custody. And basically, you're going to have to wait until you have a hearing before the judge so that you can prove that you have enough money, I guess, to pay for a sitter so that he's not going with you to work. Okay. So I guess based on this information, she has no other family because CPS would at least try to place her child with someone within the family first. So since that doesn't happen, I'm assuming she has no one in the world. On the dad's side either, there's no one there. But my
dad. But
my thing is this. What exactly was TT's plan? Because let's say you go and you rob all these banks and you get all this money. When you go to the hearing before the judge and the judge says, okay, like, what is your income? Where do you work? What are you going to say?
Luther's Janitorial.
Where are the pay stubs that show that you have $75,000 or whatever the hell it is? It doesn't make any sense.
I brought it in cash, Your Honor.
I was like,
it's all sitting here on the table.
Because I was like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here that's going to prove that.
She's going to bring the cash to court. She's going to be like, yo, I can pay for a babysitter. Or, more likely what she would probably do is just hire one and then provide evidence that she has a babysitter prepared or something like that. Or bring the babysitter as a witness to say, I don't know. Like, you definitely can't show pay stubs. The pay stubs are, and it seems like, but that's when she got the job at Luther's, he was paying her
under the table,
and then at some point just decided to start taxing her.
Well, he said because the IRS, he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS," which, of course, you don't. You're a small business, so at that point, he had to cover his behind and start taking out taxes. But again, like, you're going to court, you have to show your proof of income. So for me, I was like, I get it theoretically, but also like, this is not how this works.
What I really didn't enjoy about this scene is they're in the hospital. The baby's going to be fine. However, you're unfit. We're basically taking custody away from you. She's apoplectic, as you would assume anyone would be. She just found out that she's basically losing her child. Her friend's response to this was, all right, well, now are you going to join on the plan to rob banks?
Yeah.
You can't take my baby. I'm tired of my baby.
Sean, come on.
I'm tired of my baby.
TT, now we gonna handle this.
Oh, God.
Come on. Fuck this shit. You know what you got to do. You know. You in?
There was no consoling. There was no like, oh my God, we're so sad that you lost your child. Yeah. It was just like, all right, girl, get in on the plan. Mm-hmm. It was like they were using this tragedy that just happened to her as like a way to convince her to rob banks with them. I was like, this is pretty callous. These are supposed to be her friends.
We'll get back to the friends being callous. So the last character is Stoney. Stoney is played by
Jada Pinkett.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Did she go by Smith now? I don't know.
She's just Jada Pinkett in 1996.
Okay. So Jada Pinkett. And she, excuse me, her whole story is that her parents died at some point. It's not clear exactly when it happened. But she has a younger brother that she is taking care of. So she is working at Luther's, and basically every single dollar that she makes goes to like making sure that they have housing and they have food. Her brother has just graduated from high school. He's supposed to be going to UCLA with a scholarship. And she just wants to make sure her brother's able to get out of the hood and do great things in life. And we find out the night of his graduation party that, in fact, there is no scholarship. He didn't get the scholarship. So now she's like, how am I going to afford to send you to college? I got to figure out what I'm going to do. So there's this creepy, dirty, disgusting older man.
Low down, grimy.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
good for nothing, brother.
That's exactly what he is. He's disgusting. This old dirty man who owns some kind of car lot. And he basically has promised Stoney he can give her a position at his car lot. And she's like, okay, I really need the job, but I need an advance on the money because, like, I got to pay my brother's tuition. And he said, oh, that's not a problem. But, like, what am I going to get in return? Starts rubbing on her shoulders. And I'm like, we already know where this is going. And
he's not subtle about it at all.
No.
He's like, well, if I'm going to give you an advance, I need something. Mm-hmm. And she's like, come on, man. What are you talking about? He's like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
hey, get in the car.
Yeah, it was really disgusting.
Like, does he want it right now?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought was going to happen in broad daylight. But at first she kind of was like, I don't want to go. But then she starts talking about her brother and she's like, I'll just do it.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Mm-hmm. He's like, well.
I'm in a bind, Nate. And he just looks at her like, are you in a bind?
Right. So, yeah, then they show us them having sex.
Him having sex.
Yeah, she's just lying there with her face just like, I guess I have to do this. As he's moaning and groaning. And I'm just like, I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, how do you even get any enjoyment out of this? This is so
I was
gross.
thinking the same thing.
It's so gross. She's just lying there.
You're having sex with someone who very clearly is repelled by you.
Ugh.
And she doesn't want to be there at all. You could just get a prostitute. And it would cost you probably a lot less.
He wants her.
Yeah, but it's like, you still didn't really have her. You still didn't have her because she's not into it. She's just laying there, bro. Like, come on, man. This is terrible.
Yeah, it was gross.
Come on, Nate.
But she gets a nice check for it. And so she goes back home, see her brother, and she basically is like, look, I got you. Look at what your sister got for you. Like, blah, blah, blah. Hype. And she's like, I know it's not going to cover all the tuition, but like, it's a good start. I'll get the rest of it. Don't worry about it. And the brother starts like, he gives her this look and he's like, yo, like, I'm not going to college, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean you're not going to college? And this is when he admits to her, I didn't get a scholarship because like, I didn't get in. And it's like, what?
That's when she smacks the hell out of him.
Yes. Because she's like, you don't know what I had to do to get this money.
He really doesn't.
And he's like, well, I mean, nobody told you to do all that, he's getting upset. And
she doesn't tell him, and I'm glad she didn't.
No.
But he's also just like, all right, like, you got some money, but like, I don't know. Her brother sucks. Not because she slept with the guy, because that was her decision. But it's just like, bro, why did you do all this? You could have just said.
Just be honest.
Like, it's almost like he didn't want to go to college, but he didn't want her to know that he didn't want to go to college. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, well, if I just tell her I can't afford it, then I still won't go, and then she won't feel as bad about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be able to save face for my sister. All right, that's pretty stupid. The next thing he does is much stupider, because what I don't understand is he goes to after he basically blows his sister off, she slaps him, she yells at him, he's like, I'm going out. College ain't for me. Mm-hmm. He goes to his man's house, and his man's is the guy that robbed the bank at the beginning of the movie.
Dumbass Lorenz.
Lorenz has AP in his head for Acorn Projects.
It's shaved into his head.
Shaved into the back of his head.
Oh, God.
And he's like, yo, that's tight. He's like, yo, you think it's tight? Yo, I'll get my girl to hook it up for you, too. He doesn't even live in Acorn Projects. Why are you putting this in your head, bro? You don't know what kind of affiliation this has.
It could be a gang affiliation for all you know.
It's like, bro, this is really stupid. Oh, well, it looks cool. I'm just going to put this in my head. He's not 10. He's not like some young, naive idiot. He's a high school graduate. He should know a little bit better than that. And he lives in, like, L.A. in the 90s. Like, you don't just want to be putting a projects on your head. And you don't even live there, bro. You're not affiliated with anybody.
And not just that.
So that's crazy. And this is before he knows that, like, the cops are looking specifically for this haircut because they have the bank tape of the guy that robbed the bank. So it's like, all right. So then when he's leaving, he gets surrounded by, like, a SWAT team who's been scoping out Lorenz's apartment. And then they're like, get down on the ground, put your hands in the air. What does this idiot do? He reaches for a champagne bottle. Whoa, wait. It's like, why did you need
Why are you pulling it
Why did you
out?
need to grab the champagne right now?
I did. There's so many things about this scene that pissed me off. That was one of
bizarre.
them because it was like, just lay down.
Like, that's all you had to do.
He's like, oh, I can't lay flat because of the champagne bottle. I don't think they're going to care. Just lay down.
They're not going to care.
Just lay down, number one. So going back to the haircut and all that, why are you even at Lorenz's house right now? Everybody knows Lorenz just robbed this bank and got 20 G's.
Yeah, he literally said it. Like, he literally said, like, yo, I heard you robbed the bank. He's like, what are you talking about, man?
Why are you going to this man's house? The other two guys are dead.
Well,
so you know the cops are looking for them.
Because UCLA's not for him. That's why.
Not to mention, Lorenz is an idiot because none of them were wearing masks. They just walked into the bank like their face looking up at the cameras and everything. I'm like, look at this idiot. and then
I was like, is that Dub C? What's going on here?
But then after Lorenz gets his 20 grand, he just goes back home.
Yeah.
He didn't leave town. He didn't he's just chilling back in the projects.
Yeah.
Like
he was. It
makes no sense.
Because that's exactly where they found him. They just like literally were like, oh, let's go to Acorn Projects. He's still here.
He went to the liquor store and got some champagne, went back home. Like that was it. It made no sense.
He's like, all right, college man, I got a bottle of champagne for you. Come meet me at the crib. Like, all right, man.
So the whole thing was just
Lorenz is
stupid.
not the sharpest tool in the shed, and this brother, what's his name, Frankie?
I don't know.
Stevie.
He pissed me off.
Stevie might have been even dumber than Lorenz.
He pissed me
was not very street smart for someone who grew up in the projects, or at least projects adjacent.
Yeah. So like, yes, it's sad because, you know, he was shot and he was unarmed, but this is not a situation where the cops were just trigger happy. Like I felt like it was a justified shooting. So I'm just kind of like, bro, like...
You were surrounded by like 15 cops,
Come
and they're
on.
all pointing guns at you, and
Come on.
your decision is to reach inside your coat.
Come on. So, of course, now Stoney is pissed off because, you know, this is her brother. He was unarmed. Anybody would be upset. So...
Well, also, though, after her brother says, I'm not going to college, she's pissed because she had sex with this gross guy. And then she just rips the check up.
Joel.
Yeah, tell me how you feel.
I yelled.
Tell me how you feel.
I yelled. Because why? This goes back to one of our earlier episodes. The one about Demi Moore, Woody Harrelson.
Indecent Proposal.
Yes, where it's like you do all of this, you know, you lent your wife out to this man, you get this big check. And then you just like give it away in an auction. I was like, bro.
The auction. Oh,
after
God.
you went through all this.
Yeah, so then it's like,
nothing.
so that means you slept with Nate for nothing.
Like you literally
at least keep the money.
At least
do like a Joan Holloway from Mad Men, right? Like
at least
she was like, I'm starting my own business with this money.
Yeah. Leave town.
Yeah.
Do something. Because honestly, now that her brother is no longer there, why even bother to stay there? You know what I'm saying?
And that was the whole thing, right? Like, I think this whole idea of the Blair Underwood character who plays this this bank manager, Keith, which I was like kind of like wrestling with this in my head of like, what is actually the point of this character?
Same.
But I feel like the purpose that he serves is to show Stevie... not Stevie. Stevie's the dead brother.
Stoney.
It's to show Stoney that like there are other options for her. He represents a different lifestyle. He's not from LA. He actually grew up in DC, and he's not in the hood. He went to Harvard, and he has this nice corporate bank job, and he's doing all these things so much different. But yet he lives close enough that she could walk to his house. And I mean, their dynamic is strange to me in the first place because I was not convinced that she even liked this guy. But regardless of that, I feel like there's this whole concept of like, hey, there are other things. You tried and tried and tried to get this money specifically so that your brother could get out of the hood. He's now dead. Obviously, you're gonna grieve your brother, but you still have this money that you got from sleeping with this gross guy. So just take the money and you go out the hood.
Exactly.
Or you take the money and figure out a way to get another job so you don't have to work for Luther, who's also gross.
Right, because she was saying that, excuse me, she was saying that she wanted to go to business school at one point, which Keith calls B school. Do people call it that?
I don't know.
Is that a thing?
It's a Harvard thing. You wouldn't understand.
It's a Harvard thing. Yeah, B school. And so I'm thinking, like, again, if this is your dream, it's not too late for her to go back to school. You know what I mean? Like, if you were willing to bust your behind for your brother to go to school, why can't you go to school?
Yeah, nah. It was like she ripped up the bread and then was like, I'm gonna go rob a bank. It's like,
to get more bread.
Yeah, like, it didn't really make sense. It didn't really make
That's
sense.
what I'm saying. So for me, it's like, yes, all these women had hardships or trouble or whatever, but it also was just like, the bank robbing really wasn't necessary.
The other thing about it, too, is like, okay, the justification that you would have for ripping up that money is because of the way that you got it.
It's dirty money.
Like, I don't want this money because it's a reminder of this thing that I felt that I had to do, that I really didn't want to do, but at least I was doing it for my brother, and I would have been able to get over it because he would have gotten a chance to leave. All right, cool. But you're robbing a bank, so it's like you're still getting dirty money anyway. It's not you selling your body, but it's still ill-gotten. Like,
but remember, according to Frankie, nobody's going to get hurt. Which is like...
regardless, you're stealing from a bank. It's not clean money.
Insurance, baby. That's what Cleo said, remember?
Yeah, no, I understand all that. I understand that people will be covered. It's not clean money. You're literally robbing a bank. That's like,
well,
it's like a crime that's existed for like hundreds of years.
Well,
it's like the first like silent films are like people robbing banks.
On horseback, right?
Right.
Yeah,
with like the little
the
Zorro mask over their eyes.
Yeah,
Even those guys wore masks. It was like 1894. They were wearing masks, but these three idiots come into a bank completely face out.
So speaking of these disguises, when the women start to rob banks, they're just wearing shades and wigs.
Again.
That's it.
It's so irresponsible because I'm like, yo, you could at least like tie a bandana over your face.
Something.
Like, your entire face is exposed other than your eyes. I'm pretty sure people could figure out who it is. And also, especially for Frankie, man, you already spoke to the cops. They know exactly who you are. They've earmarked you as a potential accomplice. And now you're actually robbing banks.
Yep.
You're going to be the easiest person for them to identify.
Yep.
It.
That's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. So I want to talk about the very first robbery that happens, because you talked about how the friends were really not good friends to Titi, how they were pressuring her after her son was taken. And I think for me...
your son's gone. You know what you got to do now. It's like, come on, man. She just got the news. She just got the news.
So I think the first robberies would really piss me off, because first of all, they've been scoping out a completely different bank. They've been scoping out this big downtown bank where Keith works. That's how Stoney ends up meeting Keith. And they decide that they're going to rob this other bank, different part of town. So when they get in there, they're all wearing their wigs and their shades. And TT is like, yo, like, I don't know about this. I don't feel good. And Stoney's also like, yeah, we didn't even case this place. Like, what are we doing?
As they're standing in the lobby holding guns.
Yes.
As people walk in and out. People are walking past them. They're standing there like, wait, girl, let me finish putting on my wig. It's like, what? You're putting on a wig in the lobby of the bank you're about to rob. You should have put on the wigs before you got in the car.
So
Why is the wig not on yet?
Joel, I don't know.
You had the whole ride there.
They're sitting there and they're like, oh, I don't know. Should we not? I don't know. And then they're like, yeah, you know what? It doesn't feel right. And Frankie's like, you're right. You guys are right. Then she just pulls out a gun and walks into the bank.
She's like, oh yeah, we not ready?
So now she's forcing their hand. And Cleo's like, yeah, let's go. Cleo's hype. Titi almost pisses herself. So she runs out of the bank.
She's like, I'm not doing it.
And I'm like, what the? So I'm just laughing because this is a hot mess. And now Stoney's like, oh, I guess I have to do this. And I'm like, this is not. So I'm thinking like, y'all are so ill prepared. This is not going to go well.
Oh,
but of course. Of course,
Au
it goes off
contraire.
without a hitch.
Yeah.
They get the money, they get out, and they get 12,000 big ones. Which, I'm sorry. I'm not robbing a bank for 12 G's.
Well, this is exactly why they have to go back, because they're like,
that's not enough.
Yeah, this is $3,000, which Cleo blows immediately.
On lingerie.
And to remodel
her car.
That was the whole reason she wanted to get the money,
hydraulics, baby,
so that people could stop making fun of her. She remodels her car and gets the hydraulics for the lowrider. So they're like, yeah, like this 3Gs is not gonna last you forever. It's not enough for you to move out the hood. Mm-hmm. We still got to keep working at Luther's. Luther, by the way,
bro,
that first scene with Luther is.
Is what?
I don't even know what the right word is, bro. Like, he comes in with all guns blazing. Not literally, because that's what they're doing.
No, the character is
but
hilarious.
just like, nah, he's on 10. Like, he's like mad verbally abusive. He talks to them crazy. He's yelling at them. He's cussing at them, telling them shut the F up.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't empty the cans in 104. I'm docking your pay.
Come on now, that ain't right.
What who you supposed to be? Goddamn mighty morphin' fucking Power Ranger? What you gonna do? I'm docking her pay.
It's a very hostile work environment.
What you gonna do? I'm docking her pay.
That was my line.
Who you supposed to be? The mighty morphin' effing Power Rangers. Nah, he's going crazy. He's going crazy.
Every time he would come in, he would say, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen."
Yeah,
talking to Cleo because
course.
Cleo's a lesbian. I was like, dear God.
Gentlemen.
And gentlemen. Every time he would say, "And gentlemen."
Right.
Yeah, he was doing a lot.
Nah, Luther's crazy.
He was doing a lot.
So yeah, so it's like, yo, we have to keep working to not make it hot, but also because like we can't like retire off of $3,000 each.
And honestly, going back to Frankie for a second, I feel like one of the main reasons why she wanted to rob the bank was because she felt like this job was beneath her. Because the first night she's working at this spot, she's like, "Oh my God, look at my nails. Oh my God, the garbage smells like garbage." Yes, because it's garbage. And the other girls was like, "Yo, you'll get used to it." And she's like, "I don't want to get used to this, blah, blah, blah. I'm used to working." Like, I feel like for her, it was like she had this career, this good job, and now she got to work a menial job. And to her, it was like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Which is not a reason to rob a bank. You still had income coming in.
Not enough.
You also
baby.
could have found another job. She has experience.
She's just mad at this point. Like I feel like Frankie was not operating off of any rationale. It's just like, oh, I'm mad at the world now, so I'm gonna just like break the law. Like, it was like, all right, like, I guess, because she's driving this whole idea when Stoney's like, yeah, like those crazy guys could go rob a bank because they're lunatics. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that because we're not crazy. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, but what if we did?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like, you're actually had more of a career than anyone else
yes.
here. Like, it would seem like she had the most to lose, but that was not the case at all.
So now they do a second robbery because the first one wasn't enough.
Yeah, and it makes sense that they only made out with less money because, again, they did not case the place at all. They didn't know anything about the bank. It just so happened that they were just going to take whatever money was available to them.
So stupid. So they get to the second spot, and again, they're not very bright. They pull up to the bank, and you see this unhoused man. He's outside, kind of creating a scene. You see one of the security officers come outside from inside the bank to kind of like talk to this guy, and like cops are pulling up to like remove this guy from outside of the bank. But they still go inside to rob the bank.
Well, the thing is, the cops get called while they're in there.
But there was still a security guard outside.
Yeah, there was. But I don't think they were like, oh, he's going to call the cops. They didn't really have any reason to believe that.
So they get inside, they start this whole thing, and this time TT is involved. This time TT is pretending to be one of the people who are just, work at the bank to get money. And then she's lying down on the floor with the rest of the victims, and at one point someone tries to pull a gun, and she holds the gun to them, like, drop it. So that kind of worked out. She kind of helped in that.
They convinced her to be involved after they gave her $3,000 for doing nothing the first time.
Yeah.
So then she's like, okay, Stoney and Cleo get in a big fight. They kind of make up. And that's when TT's like, I'm only going to do it if Stoney does it too.
No, that was for the last one.
Oh, it was?
That was for the third one.
Oh, okay.
3 different attempts. Because that fight I got to talk about.
I thought it was the second one.
No. That was for the last one. So she comes in, they're doing this whole thing, and they they get the money, but now they're looking outside for Cleo because Cleo's the getaway driver, and Cleo's not. The car is there, but Cleo's not there because there's cops in front of the car. So they're like, we have the money, what are we going to do? And Cleo ends up going around the corner to a garage, stealing another car, and then she like drives the car through the bank. They hop into the vehicle, and then she drives through another side of the bank, through like some kind of like Japanese steakhouse. Like it was so much happening, and they get away. They get away somehow. And now I'm thinking, okay, like they made away with like a lot of money this time, like $296,000, something like that. So now they're up. They're like, oh, we got all the money we need to leave town.
It's like $75K each.
We just gotta wait 3 days for her hearing, and then we could dip. But I'm like, do we all have to wait for her hearing?
Also, like, all right. Number one, no. The other thing about it is, what is TT gonna do?
That's exactly what I said.
So, no, not even just like how is she gonna prove that she has income, because she can't do that. Let's say by some beautiful coincidence, she's able to convince the judge that she has enough money for childcare and she's gonna take the kid. But then it's like, are you then just gonna like take the kid and disappear? Because then they're gonna be like, well, what happened? Like, you're gonna have to follow up.
There's gonna be a follow up with the court.
Like, there's gonna be a bunch of follow ups, and at this point, they know that they're hot. So like, there's really no way out of the situation because you have to stay in order to get custody of your kid, but you can't stay because you're implicated. So like, TT was wrapped. Like, there's
either way,
there was like your whole reason for robbing these banks was going to be the same reason that you would be you would have eventually gotten caught for robbing these banks because you can't leave town. The rest of them don't have anything keeping them there. Like, Cleo has her mute girlfriend. They could just leave together. Stoney's lost her one family member. She's got this fake boyfriend that we have to talk about.
We got to talk about Keith.
And then, you know,
Frankie's
just mad at the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It felt like the only one that really wanted to leave was Stoney, though. Like, the rest of them, they wanted to leave in order to not get arrested. But there was no indication that they wanted to, like, not be in LA anymore.
Cleo even said, like, you know, like, we're hood rat. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, we're hood rats. Always be hood rats. Doesn't matter where you go, and I'm fine with it. But I don't think you are.
Yeah, that exactly. And Cleo, you know, that conversation tees up the end of the movie where she's like, I'm willing to sacrifice myself for everybody else because, like, I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't really see anything for myself. And if I die, it kind of doesn't matter. So this is already the perspective that she's coming in with. And she's like, if we're going to rob some banks and get some money from these white people a few times, like, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's better than anything else I was going to be doing.
Dang. She kind of reminded me of old boy from Boys in the Hood.
Doughboy.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Same kind of mentality.
I felt like that's what they were playing off of. Like, I felt like she was basically like, they were making her the doughboy of this movie. All right, so let's talk about Bankman.
Keith. So
what's your impression of this guy?
I had a lot of issues with his whole interaction with Stoney. Because the first time he meets her, she's in the bank casing the joint. And he sees her and basically, like, tries to spit game. Like, oh, like, you're too beautiful to be in here by yourself. Or, no, you're too beautiful not to have your own personal banker, he says.
Nah,
which, come on.
He hits the you're too beautiful for like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's
because
too
then
much.
Later on in the movie he says like, oh, you're so it's hard for me to believe that you're this hard when you're this beautiful.
Oh yeah, I don't
Which
like it.
Which is like, what exactly
I don't
does
like
that,
it.
what does
I don't
that
like
mean?
It. I don't like it. I don't like it.
What, like, I don't even understand like what that's supposed to mean.
And then a lot of
if someone's beautiful, then they have to act a certain way.
Yeah.
It's like it's just genes. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with your personality. You're just a pretty person or you're not.
And then it was like, I feel like a lot of times he would be talking down to her. Like, for instance, like talking about how he went to B school because people say that annoyed me.
Oh, well, of course, I meant business school.
And then like, it's like, oh, you know, take me to your hood to get something to eat.
Oh, I see. You must be used to all those roughneck types. Is that what it is?
So where are we going to eat?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe you could show me someplace in your hood.
To my hood.
Your hood, yes.
Like, it was very much like, I don't know, the way he would say things to her, I felt like, bro, like, you're not better than her. Like, at one point, she's at his apartment, and he has, like, I have red wine. And she said, oh, is that a Cab or a Merlot? And he said, oh. And it's like, you're impressed she knows a Cab and a Merlot, bro? Like, that really bothered me.
Nah,
that really bothered me.
It was crazy because when he took her he took her over, and she walks in and she's like looking at his place, and his place is like very nice. It's massive apartment. He has like, it's a very nice place.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, he's like, well, you know, it's not much, but it does. It's like,
Yeah,
come on, man. Like, this place is huge.
yeah,
What are you saying?
yeah.
It's not much.
It does the job or something.
like,
Yeah.
Clearly, it is much. It's very clearly much, and you know that it's way bigger than whatever it is that she lives in. So I was like, why are you even saying this? I was like, screw this guy. I wasn't feeling
I didn't
him.
like him at all.
But I think the bigger question for me is, okay, first of all, you're hitting on this woman at your job, which is like feels pretty inappropriate, and you're using your position to like try to get her number. All right, whatever. She agrees to see him, and it seemed to me that like, okay, he's attracted to her because he thinks she's fine, and I couldn't tell if she was actually interested or if it was just like something to do. Was it something where she was basically using him to case out his place? And that was like my initial understanding, but then she doesn't really get any information from him. And she continues seeing him. When they are finally going to rob the place, she makes sure that he's not there. She makes some excuse for him to leave. So I'm like, does she like this guy or not? I think where I ended up settling with it was like, I think she was just intrigued by the fact that he represented something different.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, like when I hang out with Keith, I kind of have like a different experience that isn't similar to everything else that I usually do. But it felt very much like, it gave me the vibe of someone who's like goes on a date with someone because they just need something to do on a Friday night. Like I got that vibe from her where it was just kind of like, this is a frivolous activity that is keeping me occupied and keeping my mind off the fact that my brother just got murdered by the cops, and he treats me really nice and he says nice things to me. But like, I don't think that she particularly cared about Keith.
No, but I also think that it's the fact that he's able to expose her to a different type of world. Like, he took her to some kind of fancy boutique store in the middle of the night, bought her a dress, and then takes her to like this really upscale like work event banquet
in a limo
type situation. Yeah. That she's never been to before. The entire movie, you see her with this little black dress. She makes sure that it's like, she folds it over her arm. She takes it everywhere she goes to remind her of that night where they finally have sex. I didn't really need that sex scene.
What's it gonna be?
That song is fire.
I can't pretend.
Song is fire, but the sex scene I didn't really need. Like the rubbing of the baby oil over her bottom. Like it was just, it was a lot.
There was nothing about the scene that was necessary.
No.
It was very like, when is this going to be over? But then, I was just waiting for it to end.
But then when she goes to his work thing, she's like, you know, doing that bank speak or like, you know, talking about her funds or how she makes money. Like she like had a couple phrases she threw out there and everyone's like, oh, you know, this black woman's in business, you know? Yeah. So I was like, all right. She was kind of just play acting for a while. It was something to do.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
But also it's like, I think just out of self-respect, I don't think I could ever take Keith seriously because the way he spoke down to her, I just didn't like. Even when she talks about how she wanted to like be a bookkeeper or like do some kind of secretarial work, he like laughs. It's like, bro, like don't laugh at what I wanted to go to school for. Like I was not feeling Keith.
That's it?
Yeah,
you don't have higher, loftier goals for yourself than that? Don't sell yourself short.
He said for the next 5 years, and she's like, honestly, I just wanted to make sure I had a roof over my head for me and my brother and food to eat. That was my plan. And he was like, oh.
Well, he was trying to show her that he wasn't uppity because he went to a restaurant in her neighborhood.
Right.
What? Just because a brother went to Harvard, I'm too good to eat? Brothers from Harvard don't get hungry, huh? Come on. Show me a place from your hood.
Yo, why is it that people who go to certain schools always got a name drop?
Well,
Like, always got to make sure.
I didn't go to Harvard to not tell you that I went to Harvard. It's the Andy Bernard.
Yeah.
It's the Andy Bernard of it all.
Yeah, it's like, come on, bro. You don't have to say it in every conversation.
All right, so let me flip it, though. We talked about her motivations. Do you think Keith actually liked her?
I think he thought she was fine.
Okay, yeah.
But, like, I don't think it's like, I'm going to marry this girl. Or, like, I see, it's just kind of like, oh, like, mind you, he was only there for, like, a little bit for business. He's not living there.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
Like, he's just there for a little bit.
He doesn't snitch her out when he sees her on the video. He's like, oh, damn, like, that's the girl I've been seeing.
He probably was like, oh, good for her. She got some money now. Good for that poor hood rat, you know? Because at the end, when she calls from Mexico, like, basically saying, like, she's safe, he's like, oh, good, like, I guess you got out or something. And, like, that was it. But, like, they're not going to meet up again. Like, it's over. But
Well, she's not going back to the States.
well, yes. But, yeah, I mean, it was fine. But I also think it was kind of like, oh, I dated a hood rat once. And
He's gonna tell his Harvard
Harvard
buddies
bros.
about it at homecoming. I have a wild story about Los Angeles. Let me tell you guys what happened. So basically, the last bit of the movie is this final score, right? Of course, there has to be the one final, because they had a bunch of money stowed away, and their old boss, Luther, discovered it because they hid it in an AC vent, which doesn't seem like a great place to hide $300,000 worth of cash. And I understand not wanting to keep it at your house.
yeah,
But they kept it at
their place of business. Like,
their place of business. It seemed like an office building that
Yeah,
they cleaned.
yeah.
And then they just kept it there. But then it's like, I don't know. What if somebody turns on the AC? It's just going to go blowing everywhere? I don't know. They knew right away that he took it because when they show up, they're like, oh, yeah, Luther doesn't work anymore. He abruptly quit. Mm-hmm. And then they go to the vent and it's missing. So the whole thing happens with him. TT ends up killing him.
yeah, because he almost shot Cleo.
Right.
They track him down to this seedy motel with a sex worker, perhaps, and yeah. So TC ends up shooting him. So now she's definitely in deep.
So long story short, they are like, all right, basically we lost everything and now we have to do it again. So this is when they make this new decision, and it's like, yo, we're going to finally go to the bank that we've been casing the entire time, which is the same bank that Keith works at.
Downtown
And
Federal.
It's the big score. It's the downtown bank. It's the big one. And this is when they finally decide, hey, maybe we should wear masks. Which they very quickly decide to just get rid of once the cops come.
Well, because the cops called them by name.
Sure, I'm still not taking my
Yeah,
mask
he was
off.
like, Stoney, Cleo, and Cleo was like, F this, and took her mask off.
But they all took their mask off.
Yeah,
It's like TT, they didn't even know you were involved. You didn't.
That's true.
You definitely didn't need to take your mask off. And she's like, oh man.
But this scene really blew me because they could have walked away. Not walked away, but they could have at least had their lives. If that one security guard hadn't decided to like get trigger happy.
Nah, yeah, he's beasting because the cop shows up and it's like, yo, we've caught you. Like, put down your weapons. They all take their masks off first for whatever reason, like I said. And then they're like about to lower their weapons. And the bank security guard just blows TT away.
It was crazy.
For no apparent reason, because it's like, well, they're putting their weapons down. Why are you shooting them?
Yeah,
No one
I
has
don't-
been injured up to this point. They haven't shot anyone.
I don't get it.
So it's like, why did he actually do that?
I don't get it.
And then, of course, it turns into a shootout. And now there's no turning back.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, Cleo is also of a mind of like, I'm not about to just be going to prison.
No.
For her, it's like,
I walk away or I'm gonna die.
yeah,
That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
Um,
This whole like car chase ensues and they end up going under a tunnel. And this is when Cleo basically tells TT's already dead. So Cleo tells Frankie
Somehow it must have been hours because when they leave, it's like the afternoon. And by the end of the car chase, it is pitch black outside. So I'm like, I don't know when it became nighttime, but they must have been driving away from these cops for 5 hours.
Daylight savings time, baby. It comes fast, it hits you fast.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And then, so basically, Cleo tells Frankie and Stoney to get out of the car. I got this. Because they're in this tunnel. They have a cop car behind them. And then in front of the tunnel, there's a helicopter, a police helicopter that's been chasing them.
I think it's 2 helicopters.
Either way, they're surrounded. And so she tells them, get out, take the money. Like, don't worry, I'll meet up with you guys later or something. Which we all know, like, you're not meeting up with anybody. But okay. So they get out, and they're like flat against the wall as she drives towards where the helicopter is, like playing chicken, essentially. The helicopter pulls up at the last second. She blows past them. And now it's like a full-on car chase, like on the news. Like, interrupt this program to show you this live kind of situation. They don't do that anymore because, like, who's really watching anything live? I don't know. I feel like we don't really see live car chases anymore. But it used to be a thing back in the day.
Yeah, they probably would have to, like, stream it on Twitter or something. But, like, I don't know that people are... even have the attention span to like watch a car chase.
Yeah, so then they end up like...
or anything that's longer than 20 seconds.
Meeting up with her, and she gets like a barricade, and she really has nowhere to go. She tries to blow by them multiple times. The cops basically end up like putting bullets all through her car. She still magically is able to get out of the vehicle.
We had to get our Sonny Corleone shot.
Yeah. She gets riddled with bullets.
Cleo Menza. According to the Godfather
that Godfather scene, that did nothing for me, especially with TT cracking up every 2 seconds. TT acted like she was a juvenile the whole movie. I
was actually waiting for you to bring that up.
I was like, I'm not sure she is capable of taking care of this child.
It was very strange because I don't know. I didn't really understand. I felt like they were obviously trying to paint her as like the innocent one who gets sullied by this whole plan, and she ends up killing someone and getting killed herself. But there was no reason for them to create her character to be so like juvenile. It was like she acted like she was like a 9-year-old.
Yeah, like after the second bank heist, she was like, "I got money." I was like, "What?"
She was like hiding her face and giggling the entire movie. It was like, wait, what?
I didn't understand.
It's like, why do they even hang out with this girl?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't understand.
She's very strange.
Yeah.
Like, she's like stuck in elementary school. But when she gets shot and she's in the car, they're trying to they peel away from the bank. The rest of them are able to get away unscathed somehow. And they're in the car in the back seat, and TT's obviously dying. And they're there, and what's her name?
Stoney.
Stoney's trying to soothe her. You're gonna be okay. And it definitely reminded me of Reservoir Dogs, with the Harvey Keitel scene after the dude gets shot. So I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it definitely reminded me of that.
Good stuff.
But she gets killed. Cleo gets killed. Now there's 2 of them left, and it's Frankie and Stoney. Stoney and Frankie basically take the money.
They split up.
I guess they split up. Did they split the money, or does
there was 2 bags of money?
Okay,
They each had a bag.
So basically, Stoney sees a group of people boarding onto a bus to go on like some Mexican tour, I guess, and she just hops on and puts on a sombrero, and Frankie doesn't make it. She gets cornered by the cops running down the middle of the street, I guess. I don't really know. But there's a standoff, and she basically has her moment where she goes to the cop and basically points a gun in his face and says, "Hey, do you remember what the protocol is?" As a flashback to the beginning of the movie where he's basically like yelling at her about protocol when there's a gun in her face. And so instead of being arrested, she pulls a gun on the cop and then starts to run away and immediately gets blown away. Yeah. So now all 3 of them are dead. The only one that's left is Stoney. And of course, the bus that she's on is conveniently driving right past where it's
stopped in traffic. It's just sitting there as she's watching.
There's a lot of traffic, understandably, but also like Yeah, she basically is seeing her friend get killed by the cops. And then the cop looks up and sees her on the bus and doesn't stop her.
Yeah.
What do you think is the
just
reason
gave her a pass.
that happened?
He felt bad for her fact that her brother got killed innocently and just figured that he would let her go, which, I mean, again, I don't buy it, but that's what happened here. My problem with that scene really was...
She got a lot of people killed. It not like she just was innocent and, oh man, her brother died. It also didn't seem to add up with... This cop's basically been spending the entire movie trying to figure out who's getting these banks, and every other single person of them is dead. He doesn't know anything about Stoney other than the fact that her brother died, and she doesn't have a record up to this point. But for all he knows, it could have been her idea.
Yeah.
He just kind of makes some judgment call to not pursue her.
Just let her go.
Yeah.
But my thing is, she had a sombrero on that was hiding her face. Why did she take it off? And she's sitting
to get a better look.
She's sitting directly in front of this big ass window on a bus.
Yeah, it didn't.
I'm just
really
yelling. I'm like, why are you taking the hat off? And it's just staring out there.
Or turn your head the other way.
Yeah, something. Duck down. Something. Whatever. So she gets off. She goes to Mexico, and she calls Keith to tell him basically that she's okay. But I said I had a bone to pick, and it's with Cleo. We know she's a wild card. We know that she's wild. And she is the one who steals all of the vehicles for these heists.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
What blew me is that every time she would steal a car, she would go through their CD collection, a 90s reference, and then she would like flip through the CDs.
CDs and tapes.
Yeah, and then she would throw out the CDs that she didn't care for, and then she would pop in whatever she wanted to bump during the crime. Right? So I'm watching this, and I had a flashback because my car was stolen when I was in undergrad living in New York. And I remember, like, when I got my car back, I was blown because, you know, you have, like, your CD case in your car, your joints. And I had a couple of CDs that I had in my car that they stole. And I was really upset because when I got back to my car, my Preacher's Wife CD, the case was there, the book was there, the CD was just gone.
Yeah, nah.
And I was like, bro, they ran my Preacher's Wife CD? Like, I was blown. So I'm watching her throw them out, and I'm like, this is mad disrespectful. Like, I just felt like you're violating these people, like their vehicle, their music. Like, it bothered me. It bothered me.
It was also completely unnecessary because you're stealing these cars to help rob the bank and then dumping them. So just leave the CDs in the car. You don't have to listen to them. But then every time she'd be like, oh man, this is some trash. And then she would throw it out the window, getting her fingerprints all over them in the process. It's like, why are you doing any of this? Just don't listen to it.
It's also an MO for the cops. They know, oh, Cleo was here.
Yeah,
there's a pile of CDs.
Pile of CDs. She stole the car right here. I didn't understand why she was doing that. Oh man, this is some trash. I'm not listening to this. You don't have to throw it out the window.
The second thing I wanted to bring up was they went to the most ghetto shooting range I've ever seen in my entire life.
Black Sam. We didn't even talk about Black Sam.
My God. So Dr. Dre has this, he owns these guns. He ends up loaning them out to the girls with interest. They could pay him back. They're doing this shooting target practice. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, yo, they know nothing about gun safety. Number one, there are no like barriers set up in between each shooter to make sure no one gets shot by a stray bullet. Number two, nobody is wearing goggles or earmuffs to make sure their eardrums are getting blown by people just shooting like random. Number three, you have Cleo shooting with two guns in the range.
Yep.
And number four, going back to TT, every time she would shoot the gun, she would drop it. Like she would just shoot it and then drop it. I'm like, how is no one getting shot in this place? It was outrageous.
I mean, this is not like an actual gun range.
But it's just...
This is basically just some warehouse that this guy owns, and he's just like, yeah, I am obviously an arms dealer. People can shoot guns here. I don't know. It didn't really make any sense.
All right.
Maybe let's talk some facts before. Oh, no, let's talk theme first. Yeah. What was the theme of Set It Off?
I mean... The theme, I guess the theme is, like I said, you got these people who are trying to make it and they're trying to do what they can to basically survive in a world that has been unfair to them.
Yeah.
So like you said, you have Frankie's situation where it's like she got fired just because she grew up in a hood and she knew the robber. You have TT who could not afford childcare, and so her child ended up getting injured, and now she's lost custody of her child. I don't really know what Cleo's situation is. I guess
Cleo just didn't give it.
Just has a hood mentality.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then Stoney, of course, has the innocent younger brother who has been wrongfully killed, unarmed black man. And again, like we said before, like a lot of these situations to me didn't really warrant, going in and robbing banks, but at least that's the idea of what the film was trying to present.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it was definitely trying to say like the system is what pushes people to commit crimes. It's not, people basically have their options taken away. And not to say like every criminal, because some criminals are just like Cleo, who just want to do hood rat things with their friends. But there are other people who are like, they feel like they're out of options and that's why they turn to crime. But I think there's also the theme of like, you can only break the law so many times before it catches up to you. They get away with it a few times. They keep going back for more. And yeah, basically the way the movie begins is the same way it ends. You got a bunch of people trying to rob a bank, and most of them get killed.
Most of them die.
One person gets away. In this case, she literally leaves the country. The other guy just goes back to his apartment and ends up getting killed anyway.
Yeah. So pretty bleak.
It's like, like it's not painting this as like, hey, I should go rob a bank next. It's like, nah, this is not going to work out for you.
And here's why. All right, a couple of facts. New Line Cinema had major reservations about trying to make this movie. They rejected it multiple times before agreeing to fund it. One of the film's co-screenwriters, her name is Takashi Buford, said that New Line Cinema didn't believe that black men would support a movie with 4 women who were gunslingers. So that was kind of part of the reason why they didn't want to do it. She also said that after the success of the movie, that the studios were very excited about doing a sequel, which I don't even know why.
Everybody's dead, bro.
Except for Stoney.
No.
So the budgets were actually cleared.
Stoney's Mexican rom-com, I'm not watching that.
Bring back Keith, man.
I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that.
But Jada said that she wasn't down with the idea, so it stopped right there. Because, like, why are we doing it without Jada? Why are you doing it at all is the first question.
Yeah, but then you have to, like, have her set it off again in Mexico.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
You're going to be forcing it.
I don't know.
This is what they always do, though. This is a classic Hollywood studio story. It's like they were scared of making a movie because it didn't fit a template. This basically was what you said. Like, oh, this is too much of a different than every other movie we've made.
Right.
People aren't going to like it. And then people did like it. And then what did they immediately try to do?
Let's do it again.
Make a sequel. It's like, come on, man. You guys are just so uncreative. Even back then, that was 30 years ago. They're still doing the same nonsense.
Same thing. So the role of Frankie was supposed to be played by Rosie Perez. Perez ended up turning it down, and then Vivica Fox went into audition. Apparently, she got the help of Will Smith, who was Pinkett's boyfriend at the time, and of course, Vivica's co-star in Independence Day. So he helped her get the role. This is the first role that Kimberly Elise had, and the producer said that during her first reading, she made them all cry. I don't know what part, maybe her son got taken. I don't know what part they were reading, but they all were like, she's phenomenal. So they hired her on the spot. And Queen Latifah said that taking on this lesbian role was a hard decision for her because she was thinking about her younger siblings who were still in school at the time. She said to them, listen, I'm playing a gay character. Your classmates might tease you or say negative things about it, but I'm doing it because I believe I can bring positive attention to the gay African-American community, and I believe that I can do a great job as an actor.
That's what she said to them?
That was the quote. That was the quote that she gave.
I believe I can be a positive role model for the gay African-American community. All right, sis, take the role.
I'm just reading it word for word, bro. That's what she said.
I mean, I think it's interesting because we just covered Birdcage last week, and we talked about how Nathan Lane did that movie before he came out. Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting that we're doing this movie, and it's kind of a similar situation where it's like, Queen Latifah didn't come out for years and years and years. And I think this movie was probably a big impetus behind a lot of the speculation in the first place because she did such a good job. I think it's interesting. I don't know what else to make of it, but like that these characters would take these roles while still being closeted.
Of actors.
Yeah, and then it's like, I don't want people to know, but I'm going to play this. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
It really is. It really is. And then speaking about actors taking roles, Vivica A. Fox was saying that like before she was known as like, I think she was modeling and she was kind of seen as like a prissy, you know, attractive black woman in all the roles she took. And so with this one, she said she finally was able to get her street cred because she could play like a rougher role. Nah,
she probably was, I don't know. They all did a really good job actually. But Vivica definitely killed in this movie for sure.
Yeah. All right, it's time for our rewind ratings. I went first the last 2 episodes, I believe, so I think you can go first this time.
Rewind rating. So I'm pretty familiar with this movie. It's not a movie that I watch like all the time, but I feel like I didn't remember that everybody died. I only remember Cleo dying. I feel like she had like a very like scenic, like I said, it was very like Sonny from The Godfather, Denzel in Training Day. Like you see those dramatic death scenes a lot of times in movies, and I feel like those are that was the one that stood out to me. But I didn't remember that the exact same thing happened to Vivica and Kimberly Elise as well. So that was interesting. But yeah, this movie is entertaining. Like I feel like every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, I know kind of where it's headed. But it's just intriguing. And I think the idea of having 4 women doing what you would think of as like a stereotypical male crime. I guess most crimes are usually thought of to be men anyway, but violent crime especially. It's just interesting. And I think the way that Queen Latifah played this character was also like, she kind of commanded every scene that she was in. And it's like such a difference from like watching her in like Living Single. She's like a very different character. And yeah, I feel like this movie has a lot of replay value. I think it's really entertaining. And I'm going to give it 4 rewinds.
Nice strong score. Yes, I've also seen this film quite a few times. And you mentioned Queen Latifah, and you're right. When I think of Queen Latifah, I think of things like Chicago and like Hairspray. I love musicals, so I love her in those.
Just Right?
Or Just Right. Bringing Down the House, you know. She's doing movies
The Last
like
Holiday?
Yeah, she's doing movies like that where it's just like she's fun and like having a good time. And so seeing her play this role is like, oh, well, this is really different than anything I've seen her do before. And she kills it. Like, she's very convincing. And honestly, I would say all the women, I felt like they were in their role. Like, it didn't feel like they're acting or pretending to be these people. It felt like they felt comfortable in the characters.
Nah, it's a strong cast.
Yeah. So that was really well done. And, I mean, for me, I think, although, like, I can understand where they were trying to, you know, get the idea of, like, they're being, you know, pushed to do these crimes, I also felt like there were so many holes where I was just like, bro, you don't actually need to do this. So, you know, it can't be a 5 because there were too many things where I was just like, bro, this does not need to be here. But it's entertaining. It's a good, fun film. Would I watch it again? Yeah, I'd watch it again, probably in a couple of years. So for me, I'm giving it a 3.5.
All right, a 4 and a 3.5. Please let us know your rewind rating. Reach out to us on social media at RR90spod. We could be reached at email at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. And we can also be reached by voicemail. You can leave us a voicemail if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions for the pod. And I'm going to let Andrene read the phone number because I don't remember it.
It is 202-688-5195. We would love to play your voice on the pod, in particular for our 100th episode. So please leave those voicemails there.
We're only 4 away.
I also want to point out, we did have a listener from out of the country who said that they wanted to leave a message, but obviously didn't want to call internationally. And so I told them they can go ahead and leave a message through like Facebook Messenger. You can leave an audio message that way. So that's also an option if you'd like to do that as well.
Shout out to our international listeners.
Yep.
All right. Any final words for Set It Off?
I'm docking her pay.
I'm in a bind, Nate. All right.
All right, y'all.
Adios.
Later.